Jeff, when it's this cold and the wind is howling, wind chills are expected to get to 30 degrees below zero. I'm on North Broadway here in Yonkers, where Con Edison is working to restore power to over 100 customers. This is a dummy M67 frag grenade. It's what the soldiers were training with today. And you can see zinc clearly right behind me in the rock on this wall. What's shining is zinc. I'm here on Chester Avenue, where the road is blocked off. Police have confirmed that an emotionally disturbed man has been barricaded inside his home. And more trees like this are expected to fall throughout the day. So this storm is far from over. In Hawthorne, Genevieve DiNatale, BIOS 1 News. From behind a bunker on Range 17 at Fort Drum, one soldier held his arm high.
Throw.
Then they hit the deck. This is live grenade training. They tossed one, sometimes two grenades in a row into a sand pit, sending smoke into the air and shaking the trees nearby. They're soldiers with the 4th Battalion, 31st Infantry Regiment. These troops will be deploying to Afghanistan in the coming months, and this grenade training, although seemingly dangerous, is designed to prepare them.
I've been in the Army for 2.5 years, and the only time I've used a hand grenade was in basic training. So this is a good training right before we go, so we can get more familiarization on these weapons.
This is a dummy M67 frag grenade. It's what the soldiers were training with today. Its kill zone is a radius of about 15 feet.
Grenades are used to normally clear bunkers or to obscure or cover and conceal enemy or friendly movement.
After the pin is pulled, it takes 5 to 7 seconds for the grenade to detonate. And anyone within a 105-foot radius of a detonating grenade is in danger. But for these troops in the 10th Mountain Division, who train as they fight, it's just another day at work. Genevieve DiNatale, 7 News. Across the street from this church in Pelham is the home of 60-year-old Danny Manich. The Westchester District Attorney's Office announced yesterday he was arrested on May 3rd after he was allegedly caught in an online sex sting. To some residents of this seemingly quiet neighborhood, this doesn't come as a surprise.
Men are always looking for sex in one way or the other, no matter how old they are. That's too bad, because at 60 you should be enjoying yourself, or close to it. I guess that's what he was looking for.
Meanwhile, other residents were surprised to find this was happening so close to home.
I can't believe it. I had no idea that this sort of thing was going on in this town, because it seems like a really nice town, right?
Investigators say that on April 15th, Manich sent pornographic images of a minor to an undercover investigator from the district attorney's office. Prosecutors say Manich was under the impression that he was allegedly speaking with someone who could get him a child for sex. Manich was released on bail. His next court appearance is on May 28th in White Plains City Court. Genevieve DiNatale, BIOS 1 News. State Assemblyman Steve Hawley, who represents an area between Rochester and Buffalo, is sponsoring this bill, which would put a referendum on the November ballot. It would ask all New Yorkers if they would support dividing New York into 2 separate states, with upstate New York being one state and downstate being another.
This isn't necessarily about corruption. It's not Republican and Democrat at all. It's not the governor versus upstate or anywhere else. This is about representing people and trying to make sure that our way of life is sustained.
Hawley maintains that this is an issue of representation, and the executive director of the New York State Association of Counties says this certainly isn't the first time the idea of splitting New York has come up over the years.
So oftentimes the upstate culture clashes with the downstate culture or the downstate values. And you see pieces of legislation come up from time to time, like this piece of legislation by Assemblyman Hawley.
As for how the state would handle the split, a spokesman from the governor's office said that he has no idea how that would come to pass. And, quote, I'm sure neither does any of the politicians who are cynically pushing this.
There is pandering, and then there is the Godzilla of pandering. This divisive and unserious press release isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
But Hawley maintains that he isn't cynical.
Anyone that knows me knows that I don't have any cynicism in my character.
As for what it would be called if it does split?
Well, I don't know. The president recently called it Upper New York.
New Amsterdam, there's New York.
The bill is currently in committee. Genevieve DiNatale, 7 News. What's called a bomb cyclone hit the Hudson Valley, bringing with it heavy rains and winds that knocked down trees and power lines. Take a look at this tree in Hawthorne that fell on top of a home on Marietta Avenue around 11:57 Wednesday night. Trees like this fell in Greenberg and Putnam Valley as well, resulting in the closing of a portion of Dobbs Ferry Road. The National Weather Service issued a wind advisory for the Hudson Valley region until 6 o'clock Thursday night. West winds are expected at 20 to 30 miles an hour, with gusts of up to 65 miles an hour, making travel especially difficult for high-profile vehicles. And more trees like this are expected to fall throughout the day, so this storm is far from over. In Hawthorne, Genevieve DiNatale, FiOS 1 News.